The Brooks Ghost Max 2. How does this max cushion monster stack up? So welcome back to another shoe review. This is a first run video and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you guys on how I found the Brooks Ghost Max 2 out there on my easy run today. I was lucky enough to test out the first version and now we have the second one in for comparison. So as always with these shoe reviews, we'll go through how I tested it, we'll go through a technical overview and then I'll give you my thoughts on the shoe. Quick disclaimer, this is a pair of shoes that Brooks sent to me for the purpose of review. However, they have no editorial control over this video. They have no idea of my thoughts and they won't hear or see anything from me until you guys see this first on YouTube. So with that out of the way, let's dive in. So after getting this thing out of the box, I realized very much, just like the first version, this was going to be an easy day shoe only. Hence why this is just a first run video. Normally, I like to test my shoes on an easy and a moderate day run, so zone 1 and zone 2, but I knew this wasn't something that I would ever pick up for a zone 2 run, so I just got myself out there and did a 60-minute easy run in this shoe. A nice mix of concrete and a few light trails in there, but overall this thing did really well. So now let's go over some technical specification. I'll start off by saying I went true to size in this shoe, which is a UK size 13, and it fitted perfectly. We're talking about 39 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 33 in the forefoot, meaning we have a 6 millimeter heel to toe drop, so nothing's changed there from the first version, but what has changed is the weight, a 30-gram increase, meaning we have a 397-gram shoe or 14 ounces. And I can confirm that is the heaviest road shoe I have ever tested. And as always, we'll start away at the back of the shoe, talk about the heel counter, ankle collar, tongue, lacing, upper, midsole, and finish with the outsole. So we have an engineered mesh upper, which runs all the way around the shoe. No change there from the first version. A very stout heel counter. It does not move. This shoe is built for a little bit of stability and support, as well as that lovely max cushion ride you get from it, which won't be for everybody. This is super rigid, but the cushioning is fantastic. You really do feel locked in and secure when you get your foot in there. The tongue is also very, very plush and nicely padded. Ankle cut is also good. It sits under the ankle bone nicely there too. Thick laces and a very standard lacing system means you get the usual standard lock down in this shoe. It feels really good and it feels very comfortable across the top of the shoe. Although I will say this is not a gusseted tongue, so it is not attached to the medial and lateral sides of the shoe, the left and the right. It is attached in place using this tab across the top of the tongue there, meaning you get no tongue slip left and right. As for the upper, feels quite thick, engineered mesh upper all the way around, as I mentioned. Very comfortable, very breathable, very wide toe box, very accommodating for wider feet like myself. But yeah, very, very thick indeed. It did get a little bit wet this morning. It's not one of those shoes that the water will exit straight away. I feel like it's definitely one of those shoes that will hang on to water if it gets in there. So what it will be like in the winter months, I'm not too sure. But I will say it was extremely comfortable. Then we move on to the main change in this shoe. The main change from the previous version, and it's exactly the same change as they made from the Brooks Ghost 15 to the 16, and that is we have DNA Loft version 3 in this midsole, not version 2. Now, I really appreciated and was really surprised at how good that midsole felt in the Brooks Ghost 16, the upgrade in that shoe. It just changed the shoe for me. It was so much more responsive. It was so much better. I'll be honest with you, after one run in this thing, I'm not sure I feel quite the same about it in this. With the volume of that foam, I'm not sure it gives exactly the same responsiveness, shall we say, as what we find in the Ghost 16. It is extremely comfortable, it is extremely nice, and what you also get in this area, they have put a guide roll rocker in it, so you do feel like you roll through the through your stride nicely. You're not flat-footed. It's not kind of one of those shoes you slap down and pick back up. You do roll nicely. Although the rocker is not aggressive, you do feel like you roll nicely. I'd say the midsole is more comfortable and less responsive in that aspect. And I don't know if that's down to the volume of foam or not, we'll see. And we have a lot of rubber outsole coverage here, which covers most of the exposed midsole on the bottom. I feel like you're gonna get, well, I got good grip this morning. It was wet out there and it felt really grippy. I ran mostly on tarmac and a little bit of light trail, and it was extremely grippy there, which was good. And I feel like durability will be high in this shoe. I feel like the grip, it felt good. I mean, obviously I'm predicting a little bit here. I didn't get the previous version up to a good number of miles to confirm or deny, but it'd be great to hear how many miles you got in the previous version, and if you can confirm if durability is high in it. I feel like it will be though. So yeah, good rubber outsole coverage there, and that's it for the tech. So with that out of the way, how did I find this shoe on the run? Well, I feel like it does the job that it's intended to do. It gives you comfort and plushness in abundance, and it was an enjoyable run. As I said in the intro, it was extremely comfortable, extremely enjoyable. But I've got to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it's an update that I would personally go for, or if I would stick to the previous version. And the only reason I say that is because I feel like the 30-gram weight difference is noticeable. I remember testing the previous version, and I remember getting the Ghost 15 and the Ghost Max. And I remember saying to you guys at the time, I think I'd choose the Ghost Max out of those two. I found the Ghost 15 with the V2 midsole slightly more lifeless. Again, comfort in abundance, very soft, but I didn't find any responsiveness in the Ghost 15 at all. No pop whatsoever. I found though, in the previous version of the Ghost Max, I felt like it was a little bit more responsive. Even though you were getting that max cushion feeling and experience, I did find that I got a little bit more from that shoe. And I remember saying, if I was you guys and you're not a massive fan of a 12mm drop, then I'd go for the Ghost Max over the Ghost 15. I think I'm going to reverse my opinion in this version. I feel like the DNA Loft version 3 is so good now in the Ghost 16 that I was able to do easy and a moderate run in that with ease. It felt good. It didn't feel cumbersome. It was a big improvement, and I felt like they were really bringing that Ghost version forward. And I feel like if they keep making those steps, we're going to have a real contender slotting into the marketplace there. Like, I know it is their best-selling model. It is one of the best-selling models in the world for running shoes, and I can see why, especially with that update. I'm just not sure that this foam works in such an abundance in this shoe. Now, obviously, I'm maybe not the type of runner that's going to use a max cushion shoe as much as some other people out there. I don't do as many recovery miles as a lot of people. I enjoyed the experience in this shoe. It was very comfortable and it was extremely enjoyable. It ticked all of those boxes, and for that, I cannot fault it whatsoever. But I do feel like the 30-gram weight gain in this shoe is something that maybe could have been avoided, and I feel like what it's done is it's put it right now at the top end of that, well, really almost out of the stratosphere in terms of weight. As I alluded to in the intro, this is the heaviest road shoe I have ever tested, nearly with 3 grams off 400 grams in my size, which is just insane weight. So that's why I've only done a first run video on it, because I won't be testing it on a moderate run. It's definitely not something that I would have anyway picked it up for a zone 2 run, but definitely not now having tested it. I did feel like the bulk in this shoe was definitely a little bit too much. I appreciate what they've done in terms of a wider platform and stability in the heel. I did feel extremely secure, extremely locked in. I felt like my foot was being guided by the shoe, and that's exactly what they intend it to do. As I said, I think it ticks all the boxes that they have built and designed this shoe for. And I feel like if you're a stability runner but can run maybe slightly in some neutral shoes, I think you're going to be able to run in this one for sure. And I did enjoy and appreciate the nice roll through sensation on this shoe. As I said, for me and my training style, I do a lot more zone 2 runs over zone 1. Therefore, the use in this shoe wouldn't be quite as much as, say, as I said, the Ghost 16 or other shoes. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there, guys. It is a shoe that is extremely comfortable, extremely plush, extremely cushioned, lovely and soft, not as responsive as I'd hoped it would have been. And again, I'm not sure if that's the volume of the foam in there, but extremely good, ticks the box, but probably not a shoe that I'm going to use too much, and certainly not one that I'm going to be slotting into my rotation. I would, in this instance, go for the Ghost 16 over this one. But of course, this is where you guys come in. For those of you who love max cushion shoes, I'd love to hear how many miles you got in the previous version, and if you intend on picking this one up. I think that will really help people, especially with the durability factor. It'd be great to hear from you down in the comments below. I've got to be honest with you, as I said, it was a great shoe, very comfortable, ticked all the boxes, but it doesn't really fit my sort of training style, but I'm sure it will fit a lot of you guys out there. And it'd be great to hear from you down there as to how many miles you got and your thoughts and feedback as to whether you'll be upgrading your previous version to this one as well. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider giving the video a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one.